this has to be one of the best portable RGB LED lights out there today. Not only can you change the color temperature and set it to almost any color you want, it has 20 different effects and scene settings. 20! So over the past few years, there have been many different portable LED lights that have been released by various manufacturers and companies. One of the leading companies in this area is actually Aperture, and they have an absolutely killer mini portable LED RGB light, and it has some pretty cool and fancy features. But in my eyes, the Falcon Eyes F7 is actually a much better light than a lot of the competition. Now, I just wanted to say thank you to the guys over at Falcon Eyes for sending me this light. They in no way gave me a script or are telling me what to say in this review. So they actually don't really know what I'm going to be saying in this review. So once again, thank you Falcon Eyes for sending this light over to me. Okay, so first we're going to start off with what actually comes in the box, starting with the light itself. Next, we have this little carrying pouch that you can just, put the light in, put all the accessories in, and just carry it around with you on the go. Then we have the silicone diffuser, which I absolutely love. This really helps spread the light and soften it out. We also have this silicone honeycomb grid, which I also absolutely love. I think it's super cool. We have the cold shoe mount for mounting this on top of your camera. We have the rotating ball mount that has a 1/4 inch thread, so this can be mounted on any light stand that is compatible with this. And finally, we have the USB-A to USB-C charging cable. The kit I got is about $180 Canadian or about $135 US, which is a great price for a light this size, especially considering all the accessories it comes with. So on the side over here, we have a power button that doubles as a mode switcher. We have an up and down knob that lets you switch between the different color temperatures or even choose different colors in the RGB spectrum. And it allows you to choose which scene or effect you want to use when in that mode. On the back of the device, we have a little OLED screen that shows you the different modes, the different settings, and the battery indicator. And then on the bottom of the device, we have a 1/4 inch thread so that this can be mounted to different light stands or on top of your camera using the accompanying accessories. It also has magnets built into the back here, so you can stick this and mount this to any metallic object that is magnetic. I also just want to say I'm super impressed with the build quality of this light. It is made of a metal aluminum type housing, and it just feels very sturdy and solid when holding it in your hand. Okay, so now I'm going to fire it up and talk about the different modes and settings that this thing has. So first off, we have the normal color temperature mode, or CCT mode. So that just lets you choose between the different color temperatures ranging from 2500 to 9000 Kelvin. It can be easily adjusted by just moving the up and down knob in any direction to change the color temperature. As you can see, I'm going from cool to warm, and it looks very nice. It's also super easy to adjust the brightness. All you have to do is just turn that wheel at the bottom on the side there to adjust the intensity or the brightness. So next, if you click on the power or mode button again, it changes it to RGB mode. So as you can see, now the light is this nice pink color. You can also change the intensity and brightness the same way by just moving that wheel up and down. And you can set the actual individual hue by just clicking in the up and down knob. When you do that, you'll notice how the H or hue is highlighted. And then if you just slide up and down that knob, it'll change the hue. As you can see, it just cycles through all the colors that are available. If you press that button in again, it allows you to adjust the saturation as well. So you can put it right down if you want. If you just want a hint of a color, you can put it right back up if you want it to be fully saturated. The final mode is the effects or scene mode, which can be accessed by pushing the power or set mode button one more time. It starts off in the off position, but as soon as you slide the up down knob up, it puts it into the first mode. There are 20 different effects or scenes that you can choose from, which is actually quite a bit more than a lot of the competition. All you have to do to adjust it is just slide the up and down knob up or down again. This includes some really cool effects like police car, lightning, candle, paparazzi, party, and breathing. Now, I don't have another RGB LED portable light in person with me to compare this to, but I do have the Aperture M9. This is actually similar to the Aperture MC RGB mini light. It's about the same size, it has the same brightness intensity as well, so overall it is comparable to that device. The biggest difference is this isn't an RGB light, it's just a single color temperature light. So if I turn this on over here, you'll notice it's just got, a normal bright white light. So you can adjust the brightness on it, just like you can with the Falcon Eyes F7. But that's pretty much the extent of what you can do with this light. It does have this little diffusion screen that snaps on there magnetically. And it did come with a few gel sheets that are 2 different color temperatures. So one of them is like on the bluer side and cooler side, and the other one is on the warmer orangey side. But that's pretty much the extent of changing the color temperature. So the Aperture MC RGB Mini LED light has all the same features as the Falcon Eyes F7, but the biggest difference is it has Bluetooth functionality that can pair it to your phone, and there's an accompanying mobile app. So the app lets you actually control the light and control all the different settings, all the different modes, all the different effects, all from your phone. The Falcon Eyes does not have this functionality, and although it would have been a welcome addition to this light, it is definitely not necessary. Although the Falcon Eyes F7 is a little bit more expensive than the Aperture MC RGB light, I would definitely choose this one over the Aperture because of the size and the functionality of it. It is a lot brighter because it is bigger. So the Aperture light is pretty much can only be used for like a small fill light if you need it for that, or even as an accent light in your videos. But the Falcon Eyes F7 can actually be used as a main key light. If I were to bump up the brightness here, you can see how this could totally, completely be used as a main key light. And right now that's only actually at 55%. So if I wanted to really crank this to 100, as you can see, look back there, I'm completely lighting that whole back room there. But I'm gonna put that down for a second. If I take this mini Aperture M9 light and crank up the brightness all the way, it is still quite bright, but it definitely doesn't have the same effect. You still could, at close distances, use this as a main light, but once again, when you're on set, when you're on location, if you're doing a bigger type production, this is definitely not going to be good enough if your light is farther out from your subject. Also, like I just mentioned, due to the size of this device compared to the Aperture MC RGB light, it is quite a bit brighter. So at a distance of 0.3 meters, the illumination is 4,000 lux, while on the Aperture MC RGB light, it is only 900 lux at 0.3 meters in distance. Also, both lights do come with the silicone diffuser like I had mentioned, but the Aperture does not come with the honeycomb grid. Only the Falcon Eyes F7 comes with the honeycomb grid. So in my eyes, this is a big advantage. Now let's talk about battery life and power. So when you have it in CCT mode, which is just, once again, the normal color temperature mode, when it's at full intensity, the battery life is about 1.5 hours. When you switch it over to RGB color mode, the battery life actually improves a little bit at 2 hours at full intensity. Now, no matter what mode you do have it in, once you hit about 5% battery life left, you will start to notice the light dimming until it fully dies. So just keep that in mind. You can also use the F7 while it is charging, even when plugged into a USB power bank, but the intensity is maxed out at 70%. So what are my final thoughts on the Falcon Eyes F7 light? I think it's a fantastic light that I'll probably be using for a long time to come. It's very portable, it's about the size of my iPhone 8 Plus, so it easily fits in my pocket or just in my bag. It's also very lightweight enough considering the size, but it's still very durable. It's also much brighter than a lot of the competition, and it has great features like 20 different effects and scene modes to choose from, which is actually quite a bit more than a lot of the competition. The quality of the lights and the actual colors is fantastic, and it has a wider range of color temperatures to choose from than some of the other lights. It has great battery life considering the light output that this thing has, and it can be used while charging. It can be easily stuck to metallic objects due to the built-in magnets, and it's at a fantastic price point considering the size and the accessories it comes with. Now, the downsides, although you can change the intensity of the light when you're in both CCT mode and RGB mode, you strangely can't change the intensity when you're in the effects or scene modes. I do think this is quite strange, and I think the Aperture MC RGB light actually does allow you to change the intensity when in that mode. There's also no Bluetooth and accompanying app, which actually would make it a lot more convenient when you're on set or on location, because then you wouldn't have to always run to the light if you want to change settings, intensity, color temperature, or play around with the different effects. The silicone diffuser and honeycomb grid, while fantastic, do have quite flimsy silicone straps at the back, to hold it in place, which I feel like in time will loosen up and probably a little bit too much where it might even fall off the light. But all in all, I think it's a fantastic light that almost anyone can get good use out of. Alright guys, well there you have it. That was my first impression and a mini review of the Falcon Eyes F7 RGB LED light. I do think this is a fantastic light and I really think you guys should check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video and I hope you guys found it really useful. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Also, why don't you leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think of this light. Do you think it's something that you would want to use? Have you played around with any of the other lights that are similar to this one? Let me know. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell notification icon so you get notified every single time I drop new videos like this one. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.